Jermell Charlo has been on a social media tear lately. Looks like he wants all the smoke at 154 for his comeback. 154, man, it's looking like a division that's good. That's definitely stacking up. It's looking like it's becoming a division that welterweight was. You know, welterweight was hot at one time. We had Keith Thurman, Errol Spence Jr., Terence Crawford, Sean Porter, Danny Garcia. Who else did we had there? I guess Boots was in, he was in the mix, but Boots never was in the mix with the top dudes, which was really strange when you think about it, right? Now that everybody thinking about it, I'm not really going to make this video about Boots, but it is kind of odd, right? Like when you think about it, you had all these dudes there. You had Keith Thurman, Sean Porter. Now, from what I'm hearing, a lot of people say that Boots team, Boots tried to make fights with Sean Porter and Sean Porter turned it down. Keith Thurman, he asked for an absorbent amount of money to fight Boots. But you had all these other, you had Errol Spence there, you had Bud, you had Danny Garcia, and Boots never fought any of them. It's a little strange, man. It is, I admit it, when you really think about it, it is a little strange. But anyway, Jermell Charlo he was the king of 54 at one time, man. He had some issues. He had some good fights too, man. The war he had with Brian Castano. He had 2 fights with Tony Harrison, which was great fights. He lost the first one. Knocked Banana out with a body shot to the solar plex that had him on the floor shaking like the Harlem Shake. It was crazy. But nonetheless, Jermell Charlo was 154. That was him. He was the man up there. Then, he's been out of the ring 2 years. He lost to Canelo. Now he's calling dudes out. He's calling out Boots. He's making these memes with lions. He made one for Boots, chewing on a boot. He made one for Terence Crawford, smoking on Bud, like a cigar. He had made one of Errol Spence, supposed to be his stablemate at one time. Who else he made one of? Then I think he called out Virgil. And then I seen him with another one where the lion was biting a giraffe's neck, which is reference to Sebastian Fundora. So Jermell Charlo is claiming he wants all the smoke with these dudes now. I guess he came back down to his senses, realized 154 is where he belongs. My personal opinion, man, since going all the way up, I think he need to just try to do something in 160. But there's no fights there. 160 has been really dry for a long time. You don't really hear much at all about 160. It's crazy. But as far as all these guys that he's calling out, especially being off this long, I think all of them give him problems. Every last one of them. Jaron Ennis, Virgil Ortiz, Terence Crawford, and Sebastian Fundora. I even think Errol Spence will still beat. I always thought Errol Spence would beat Charlo, and I still think he would. That would be a good fight, Charlo and Errol Spence, because they both been out for 2 years, about 2 months apart since their last fights. That would be a good scrap. But I think Errol Spence still takes Charlo. Just my humble opinion. I always thought he was better than Charlo. Charlo was okay. I always thought Charlo was just always a stiff fighter. It was like stiff, man. He always have his head cocked to the left. It was always weird. But he's a good fighter though, Charlo. He's a dog, but I just don't think. I think Errol Spence would beat him. Even after Bud whooped his ass, I still think Errol Spence would probably edge out Charlo, just probably by a small margin. If you take both of them in their current states, and both of them are both rusty, Spence took the most damage than Canelo did to Charlo. So I might be going out. I might be exaggerating a little bit when I say Errol Spence would beat Charlo, but I think he might edge him. But then who knows, man? Charlo's is less damaged than Errol, so it could go either way. But as far as these top dudes he's calling out, man, nah, bro. The dudes that been active, like Fundora, Virgil, even the Terence Crawford, he just had he fought Madrimov. He's been a fight more active than Charlo has, but Terence Crawford's a different story, man. I'm telling you now, he doesn't even belong in the same conversation with a lot of these dudes. But I want to know what y'all think. What y'all think about Jermell Charlo, man? You know, telling everybody the Lions is back. The Lion is back. He won all the problems at 54. He won it. Now, without a doubt, a lot of them dudes he would probably fight, but I think he's scared to death of Terence Crawford. He proved that night after Bud beat Errol, and Crawford went over them and straight went over to him, started calling him out, and he started deflecting. I don't know why Bud not talking about me for. I'm about to fight Canelo. I'm not even in his weight class. Like, come on. He's not even in my weight class. That's not how you talk as a champion, bro. Sebastian Fundora, he'll give Charlo all kind of problems. He'll jab his head off, probably end up stopping him, bro. Probably. Terence Crawford, even at this point, I always thought Bud would wash him too. Virgil Ortiz, I think that fight, even though I don't know if he beats Virgil, but I think he can hurt Virgil badly, bro. I think Virgil, he has a lot of flaws in his game. And Boots, I think Boots would just style on Charlo. I think with a lot of these dudes, it comes down to if Charlo still got that punch, he had pretty good power at that weight class at 54. Could any of them take his hit? Could Sebastian Fundora take it? Errol Spence, he sparred Charlo, so I think Spence would probably handle his power much better than the other guys would. Virgil, he'll give Virgil some issues, bro. Virgil will give him some fits too. He could probably, I don't think he's gonna hurt Charlo. Charlo always had a good chin, so I don't know, bro. I think Charlo I'm not really sure about the tune-up thing. Everybody's different. But if he came straight back and he got one of them fights, he jumped right into the smoke, I think he'd be all right. I think his performance, if he fight one of these big dudes, his performance would probably look similar to Jermell Charlo's performance when he came back. I forgot the guy he fought. Oh, damn it. It's right to the tip of my tongue, too. I think his performance will look a little bit better than Jermell Charlo's, because Jermell Charlo is a little bit more of an aggressive fighter than Jermell Charlo is. Their styles have changed over the years. They was more like boxers almost, but they evolved a little bit. But I think Jermell Charlo is the more aggressive out of the twins. But we'll see where it goes, man. What y'all think about Jermell Charlo getting into the smoke with all the top dudes at 154, and how does he do against them dudes? This is Rebel Like Boxing, man. I'll catch you on the next one. And I'm off this.